Tell Tyler Perry that black women are no longer suffering.
Tyler Perry hates black women, and I'm not saying allegedly because the proof is in the pudding.
Taraji P. Henson just dropped some piping hot tea, and it's got the whole internet shook. She's speaking up about Tyler Perry, and trust, it's got black women everywhere doing double takes. Turns out the man behind Madea seems locked in on one thing, showing black women completely destroyed. We're talking cheated on, beaten down, humiliated to the core, and then maybe saved by some broke blue-collar man with nothing but hope in his pockets. But here's the twist. Taraji still rides for Tyler, even though she admits that his roles leave her emotionally wrecked. So why defend him? And why does every Tyler Perry flick feel like a full-blown psychological horror for black women? One critic didn't hold back and set it straight by...
I'm a little offended, and honestly, I'm still recovering from mea culpa. He has managed to make billions of dollars. Looking at you too, Issa Rae. One of them days, really? Where's our Legally Blonde? Where's our...
By pudding, she means every single Tyler Perry movie, from Diary of a Mad Black Woman to Acrimony, all the way to his latest film, Mea Culpa, starring none other than Taraji P. Henson. But this time, people are done. The minute that Mea Culpa trailer hit the timeline, folks were like, yeah, nah. Taraji's still standing tall beside Mr. Tyler Perry, but what she's revealing now has a lot of black women scratching their heads like, girl, why? Let's get into it. Why is Tyler Perry so locked in on black women suffering? And why does Taraji keep running defense for him? See, for decades, Tyler Perry has been Hollywood's ultimate rags to riches fairy tale. The self-made mogul, the church boy turned billionaire. He even laid it all out in his Doc Maxine's Baby, where he painted himself as the black American dream. But behind every Madea wig and gospel choir finale hides the same gritty formula: black women must suffer. They're always cheated on, broken, abused, crawling through trauma, just to maybe get a redemption arc with a man who ain't even got running water. At this point, it's like clockwork. The moment the Mea Culpa trailer dropped, showing Taraji as a single mom on the brink, black women instantly rolled their eyes. Why? Because within 30 minutes, her character's whole life hits rock bottom. She gets evicted, fired, her daughter snatched by her car towed, robbed at her own job, and then boom, she kills her boss and ends up robbing a bank. It's giving, can the girl breathe? But here's what really got people talking. Not the plot twists, not the screenwriting, but Tyler Perry himself.
It is becoming more evident that Tyler only sees black women as hardworking, struggling, great victims that, of course, one day are going to be rescued by a blue-collared black...
More and more women are calling him out, and their message is loud and clear. His movies ain't empowerment, they're trauma porn wrapped in black struggle aesthetics. Think about it. In Temptation, Judith cheats once and ends up with HIV. One mistake, and she's punished for life. In Acrimony, Taraji's character sacrifices everything for a man who turns his back the second he gets a taste of success. She dies, betrayed, and humiliated, with nothing to show for it but pain. And Why Did I Get Married? Same cycle of cheating, abuse, and heartbreak dressed up in Sunday gospel choirs and motivational quotes. Sheila got cheated on, clowned for her weight, and only found love after she slimmed down. Like her worth magically showed up with her waistline. Meanwhile, Angela, she's always the loud, aggressive, emasculating black woman. Even Taraji P. Henson admitted it. The stereotypes are loud, but critics say that's exactly the issue. If the only time black women show up on screen is when they're crying, screaming, or surviving some nightmare, what message does that really send to the world? Or worse, to black women themselves?
I don't know if Tyler Perry doesn't like black women or doesn't give a damn about black women or thinks he knows black women, but these storylines that he's concocting that's supposed to be the story of black women are so idiotic. I cannot take...
Now, fast forward. Folks are watching Mea Culpa and already sharpening the knives. It's giving deja vu, and they're ready to cancel Tyler Perry all over again. But Taraji, she's not budging. She's riding hard for Tyler like a loyal sister at the family cookout, defending her cousin, even when he wildin'. To her, these stories matter. She even told The Breakfast Club, yes, these people exist. Taraji even opened up about why she thinks so many black women are furious with Tyler Perry's movies, and it caught a lot of people off guard. Basically, she's saying, well, don't blame Tyler for your pain, sis. Blame the culture that taught you to bury it. For her, it's not about the drama, it's about giving a voice to the voiceless. Taraji says she's always been drawn to characters who are broken, silenced, trapped in trauma with no way out. She sees it as telling the stories nobody else dares to touch him. But here's where it really starts spiraling. While Taraji's out here defending Tyler like he's family, his name is getting dragged through every ditch this week. And this mess ain't just about his movies anymore. It's now spilling into real-life allegations.
And when people tell Tyler Perry to stop showing those women on camera, I think that's their own trauma's triggered. Because in the community, black community, we don't deal with it. You know what I mean? So if you're forced to look at it often, you will be triggered.
Actor Derek Dixon just stepped forward, claiming Tyler Perry used his influence in the industry to build what he's calling a coercive and exploitative environment. Derek says he first met Tyler back in 2019 at Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta. Like so many others, he came chasing his dreams, hoping for mentorship, roles, maybe even stardom. According to the lawsuit, things got real dark behind the scenes. Derek Dixon claims that while working on the set of The Oval, Tyler Perry pinned him against a trailer wall, groped him, and started grilling him about his personal preferences in a way that had nothing to do with acting. And when Derek rejected the alleged advances, that's when the threats kicked in. Perry allegedly told him straight up, if he didn't play along or entertain the vibes, his character would get cut. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. The next season, Derek's character was written off. He left the show to escape what he called nonstop harassment. Even turned down an offer to write for Perry's other projects, saying the only way to protect his peace was to walk away entirely. Now, Perry's legal team is hitting back hard, calling the lawsuit a money grab. They're saying Derek got close to Tyler Perry, only to flip the script and pull off a so-called scam for a payout. Perry's side is insisting he will not be shaken down. But here's the kicker. This ain't the first time folks have raised eyebrows about what goes down on his sets. Multiple actors who've worked under him say he runs a tight ship.
Literally run the entire episode for him, and he hates it. Does that mean I have to learn a whole new script? Yes, that's what it means. Mr. Perry, on the spot, starts rewriting the entire script, and he's feeding me the lines to say, and the director is kind of standing on the side like, you better do it, because if not, they will fire.
Too tight. They claim Perry intimidates cast members, constantly changes scenes on a whim, and demands total control. And now, people are starting to ask, how much power is too much power? Because Tyler Perry isn't just writing the scripts, he's directing them, producing them, funding them, owning the studios they're shot in, and deciding who gets cast and who gets cut. That's a lot of unchecked control for one man in the room, especially when the stories being told keep circling back to black women suffering and men being untouchable. Actors have whispered for years that working under Perry feels less like collaboration and more like dictatorship. Miss a line, you might get replaced. Ask a question, you're labeled difficult. And some say he treats pushback like betrayal. But here's the part that hits even harder. So many people stay silent because Tyler represents a dream. He's one of the few black men in Hollywood who opened his own doors instead of waiting for permission. To some, he's proof that you can build your own empire and tell your own stories without bowing down to the system. But to others, that empire is starting to crack, revealing a pattern where control crosses over into fear. And now, as the lawsuits stack up and the critiques get louder, people are wondering if this is really about storytelling or about power dressed up as purpose. Even Taraji's loyalty is being questioned. Is she supporting a friend, or is she too deep in the machine to call out the gears turning behind the scenes? And now, the streets are buzzing louder than ever, because this ain't just about one man, one movie, or even one lawsuit anymore.
I'm grateful for this person for showing me how not to be. When you're the boss, how not to be. You don't sexually harass your employees. You don't pressure them, bully them, try to intimidate them into what you want.
This is exposing a whole pattern that's been hiding in plain sight. People are finally asking, why are so many of Tyler Perry's stories soaked in pain, betrayal, and humiliation for black women? And why does the man with one of the biggest platforms in black Hollywood keep pushing that narrative over and over again? And some are saying it's time to stop calling it art and start calling it out. And what's wild is that even folks who once defended him are starting to pull back. Former cast members, writers, even longtime supporters are going quiet or walking away entirely. Because once you start seeing the pattern, it's hard to unsee it. Behind every wig, every speech about redemption, and every rags to riches plot, there's the same setup: suffering, especially for women, especially for black women.
Tell Tyler Perry that black women are no longer suffering. It's about time that this narrative that Tyler Perry has needs to stop. Because black women are embracing ease, softness, luxury, therapy, healing. We are embracing a different life, and it's about time the representation of us change as well.
People are tired of trauma being the only ticket to visibility, tired of stories that leave scars instead of healing, tired of watching pain get packaged as empowerment. Tyler Perry himself even admitted it. He's controlling, and Taraji, she laid it all out too. She said straight up that Tyler runs everything. The writing, the directing, the producing, even the editing. Like, is he a director or a one-man production army with Final Cut Pro? And it's not just Derek making noise. Actor Christian Key also spoke out about what it's really like working under Tyler's reign. Critics say that's exactly the issue. There's no space for fresh eyes, no room for other creatives, and especially no platform for black women's voices in his empire. It's the same trauma loop on repeat. His blueprint, his pain, his pen, every single time. So yes, even with lawsuits flying, essays being written, people accusing him of pushing misogynistic narratives, and even allegedly blackballing legends like Monique, Taraji is still standing tall beside him. She's out here promoting mea culpa like it's just another drama, not part of a bigger mess. And get this, she even told The Breakfast Club that Tyler doubled her quote for the role. That's major. But here's what makes folks raise an eyebrow. Y'all remember when Taraji was publicly talking about being underpaid and overlooked by the industry for years? It's complicated, real complicated. On one side, Tyler Perry does pay Taraji what she deserves in an industry that still has no shame when it comes to underpaying black women. That's facts. But then, Taraji also admits these roles leave her feeling emotionally wrecked. These characters are so broken, so battered, that even she carries the weight after the cameras stop rolling.
Watching some of these movies, and to think that all the image that is being portrayed to them is this tired, traumatized, suffering black woman, it has to stop.
So while Taraji keeps saying Tyler's work is about giving voice to the voiceless, a whole lot of black women are side-eyeing that claim and asking, at what cost, sis? Because not every black woman is struggling out here. A whole lot are thriving. And that's the problem. When the only images we see on screen are of broken, bitter, beat-down black women, it starts to twist reality. People begin to believe that pain is the norm for us. Even worse, what are we showing our kids? What are we telling young black girls and boys when the only value they see tied to black women is through suffering? And this next part, it really hit home. One critic pointed out that in Perry's world, these women only get redemption if some blue-collar man steps in to save them. And let's be real, the trope is tired. So tired, it even got clowned on the Boondocks. The whole broken black woman gets saved by a decent man after suffering nonstop formula. Folks are calling it what it is, dangerous. And they want it to stop for real this time. Say it louder for the people in the back. Black Twitter's been dragging Tyler for weeks. One viral comment said, "The black community is in a toxic relationship with Tyler Perry. Let him go." And Reddit, they've been lighting him up too.
It is becoming more evident that Tyler only sees black women as hardworking, struggling, great victims that, of course, one day are going to be rescued by a blue-collared black man.
One user wrote, "As a black man, I feel like Tyler Perry's films are just film stereotypes. Shallow, substance-free, and low-key insulting unless you like basic drama." Another comment went even harder, saying, "His new show is straight up embarrassing. I know he's trying to be funny, but it's coming at the expense of black dignity." And now people are starting to really connect the dots. Tyler always gives redemption arcs to the black men in his stories. The abusive husband gets replaced by the humble, hardworking guy who saves the day. Cool. But what about the black woman? Who's redeeming her? Where's her peace without trauma first? Why does she have to hit rock bottom every time just to earn basic love or respect? Where's her joy without having to crawl through fire first? That's what folks keep asking, and this time, they're not backing down. The message is loud and clear. Tyler Perry's version of the strong black woman isn't about power or resilience. It's about dehumanization.
Partially blame the media for people's derogatory perspectives about black women worldwide. I'm not talking about the Beyoncés and Oprahs and Kerry Washingtons of the world. I'm talking about normal, everyday black women. It is dangerous to continue to depict us in such a lowbrow manner.
Like, why does she always gotta be beaten, bruised, and emotionally shattered just to count as strong? Because, newsflash, a black woman isn't just strong when she's suffering. She's not built for pain 24/7. So while Taraji is out here defending Tyler like she's repping a whole legacy, the streets are side-eyeing hard and asking, why is he so locked in on making black women suffer on screen? And more importantly, when is he gonna let us win? And if anyone's really confused by Taraji's ride or die loyalty, it's Monique. Their tension, it runs deep, over a decade long. It all spilled out in a messy Facebook Live, baby daddy included. Monique says Tyler blackballed her after she refused to do unpaid international press for Precious.
Even if you get offended, so what you gonna do? Because I guarantee you can't beat me up.
And not just him, she says he, Oprah, and Lee Daniels spread rumors she was difficult, shutting doors in her face and costing her major bags, like millions. And when Monique was asked if Tyler Perry ever apologized for how things went down, she didn't hesitate. She said the only one who did was Lee Daniels, period. And then there's the Empire drama that most folks don't even know about. Y'all ready for this? Monique was actually the first choice for the role of Cookie Lyons. Yes, that role. Lee Daniels called her personally, not once, but twice. First to offer her the part, then later to take it back. The role. It ended up going to Taraji P. Henson. And the streets have been whispering ever since that Tyler Perry allegedly pulled strings behind the scenes to make that switch happen. Fast forward years later, and now Monique is sitting back, watching Taraji stand 10 toes down for Tyler while he's getting hit with serious SA allegations. Let's be real, this ain't just about awkward on-set vibes. According to the lawsuit, things got wild. In 2021, at Perry's own house, he allegedly pulled down Derek Dixon's underwear and began groping him aggressively in a set and disturbing manner. Dixon says he was frozen in fear, stunned, powerless, and completely overwhelmed. This ain't even out of character for Tyler Perry. Monique said it herself, but what's got people really raising eyebrows is Taraji hyping him up right when this lawsuit is making headlines.
And that's cost my family tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Over a lie and a rumor.
Is he gonna compensate you for that?
I want you to look in your camera.
Yes.
And I want you to talk to Tyler Perry because you heard what that man said. So ask him, will he compensate my family for that?
Tyler, will you come on Club Shay Shay and let's have a conversation about the fair compensation?
Monique sees it as Tyler doing what he's always done, using his power to control narratives and allegedly to hurt the very people who once trusted him. She believes he damaged her career, and now it's happening again. Just with a new face, and right after news of the lawsuit hit the blogs, Monique popped off with a little shade bomb on Instagram. She posted, "You get mad even if you get offended, so what you gonna do? Because I guarantee you can't beat me up." And everyone knew who she was aiming that at. For those still unsure, she followed up a few days later with this. Have you noticed women who don't tolerate disrespect, lies, manipulation, and BS are always labeled as difficult, toxic, crazy, bitter, and complicated? Whoa, the message was clear. Translation, difficult equals the industry's way of blacklisting a woman who refuses to stay quiet. Difficult, telling others to avoid her. Difficult equals Monique. But now let's bring it back to Taraji. And yes, Tyler too, because guess what? He has not been staying silent while the backlash keeps growing. Tyler Perry says he's just paying homage, that he's honoring the strength and resilience of his mama, his aunties, and his sisters. He swears his films are about showing reality, not tearing anyone down. But let's keep it all the way real. His idea of honor is looking a lot like humiliation. This is the same man who once told black women they should be grateful for a man who only pays the light bill. Yup, that happened. And the internet, it exploded after that statement. Critics came for him heavy, saying things like, so black women are supposed to carry the whole household, break generational curses, heal childhood trauma, and still settle for a man who brings crumbs to the table? Make it make sense. Tyler glorifies struggle, not just in his characters, but in real-life advice, too.
Who think that my films focus on the struggle of black women, because they're right, it does. I'm in doing this, let me tell you something, if I get an opportunity to put a black woman on screen for people to see them in love, in happy, in joy, in pain, in struggle, what I'm doing is a service to all people so that people will know that black women are not just strong and one thing, they are all things and they go through all of these different things.
He calls it paying homage to their resilience, says he's just showing reality, honoring the struggles of his mama, his aunties, and his sisters.
So to have an opportunity to be able to paint all of these pictures in all sides of us, something that I'm paying homage to my mother, to my aunt, to my sisters, and friends and cousins, and the things that they all went through. So that's what I would say to that.
Instead of raising the standard, he keeps feeding the idea that black women should settle. And folks are over it, because showing real life shouldn't mean romanticizing survival or dressing up pain like it's a personality trait. Tyler Perry's out here acting like black women should feel honored to be someone's emotional mule and financial savior, while he's cashing billion-dollar checks off their pain. In the Perry universe, a black woman can survive everything: cheating, losing her job, getting her kids taken by CPS, eviction, public humiliation, the whole storm. But as long as some broke blue-collar man loves her in the end, that's supposed to make it all okay. And that right there, that's his blueprint. He keeps calling it representation, but critics ain't buying it anymore. They say it's not a tribute, it's degradation dressed up as storytelling. Because let's be real, if Tyler truly loved black women, wouldn't he want to show them winning, not just surviving with trauma as a trophy? Now Taraji, she might be out here defending the brand, riding for the Perry formula. But if you really listen to her, there's more going on under the surface. Her truth, it's messy, it's layered, and honestly, deeper than any Medea plot twist.
Glorified. I don't care if a man is a good man. That doesn't mean that he's the right man for you. Maybe I, as a woman, don't want to be the primary breadwinner. Is that okay? Am I allowed to say that I want a provider? It's funny to me how women are always expected to settle and meet a man where he is and just look at a man's heart, but they look at your face. They look at your body. Just the other day, I posted a video about this guy that was like, "Ah, man, she's perfect when you're loved the right way by the wrong woman. She just doesn't look the way I want her to look. Oh, man."
Even on The Breakfast Club, she admitted something real. She's done with people who aren't on their healing journey. Y'all, that's a word right there. Taraji got real about protecting her peace. These days, before she says yes to anything, whether it's a party, a trip, or dinner, she checks in with herself first. And if the answer ain't solid, she stays home, chilling with her Frenchies, sipping her wine, and soaking in her peace. No over-explaining, no guilt. Like Michelle Obama told her, no is a complete sentence, period. She also opened up about hitting rock bottom, said before she took her first solo trip to Bali, she was bitter, burnt out, and low-key miserable, complaining about everything. She had to unplug and go find herself again. The Taraji that got lost in Hollywood's chaos. But here's where the irony cuts deep. If Taraji's done with unhealed people, if she's moved on from the toxicity, then why is she still standing beside Tyler Perry? Because let's not front, Tyler doesn't exactly give off healed and whole energy, especially not with these allegations swirling around him.
I'm gonna tell Tyler Perry that the average black woman is actually thriving now. We pay our bills are paid.
But is that paycheck really worth the emotional damage? That's the question echoing loud in the streets right now. Because behind all of Tyler Perry's gospel-filled tributes and so-called homages to black women's resilience lies a darker, heavier truth that critics just can't ignore. They say his obsession with portraying black women as broke, beaten, violated, humiliated, or even dead is rooted in internalized misogyny, laced with patriarchy and this twisted idea of religious punishment. Let's break it down. In his world, suffering equals spiritual cleansing. A woman cheats, she gets HIV. A woman pours everything into her man's dreams. He leaves her broken and alone until she completely loses her mind. A single mom fights to survive. CPS takes her babies and her life spirals into public shame. It's like Tyler believes black women have to be dragged through hell, spit on, and left for dead before they're worthy of love. And yeah, he'll say it's about redemption. But if that's really the case, why do black men in his films get clean, heroic redemption arcs. While the women are stuck carrying generational trauma and poverty like it's their divine role, and when the prize is a man who barely pays the light bill, we gotta ask, is that love? Or is it just more survival dressed up as salvation? And trust, Tyler Perry knows exactly what he's doing. But the streets are saying it loud now. It's time to stop monetizing trauma and glamorizing harmful tropes for profit. With all these serious allegations floating around, Monique's old feud is flaring right back up, and black women are calling him out hard, saying he's been fetishizing their pain for years. Now the cracks in Tyler's billion-dollar empire, they're showing clear as day. Because behind every Medea wig, every hallelujah moment, and every rags to redemption sermon is a man who built his fortune off the backs of black women's suffering. And real talk, he just might lose it all for that very reason. So let's talk about it. Do you think Tyler Perry really loves black women the way he claims? Or is he just addicted to showing us broken just to rake in those billion-dollar checks? And what about Taraji? Is she writing for the vision? Or is she simply backing the one man who's finally paying her what she's worth? Drop thousands of comments below. I want to hear everything. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next drop. Because what's next in our hood? Oh, we got even more Hollywood secrets coming. And trust me, the tea's boiling over.